It's a good morning, and it's great and pleasure to welcome you to this important engagement between the Kenya Editors Guild and the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC. We appreciate the presence of the EACC leadership and your commitment to working with the media in the fight against corruption, particularly in the critical area of asset recovery. Corruption continues to drain public resources, crippling service delivery and deepening inequality in our country. While various institutions, including the EACC, have made significant strides in combating this vice, the scale of financial misconduct remains alarming. Billions of shillings meant to develop and for development are stolen, yet only a small fraction is ever recovered. This calls for a stronger, more coordinated approach between investigative agencies and the media to track, expose, and recover stolen public assets. The role of the media in uncovering corruption and illicit financial flows cannot be overstated. However, investigative and crime reporters often face numerous challenges, as they've said, including legal threats, lack of access to crucial data, and personal security risks. To enhance the effectiveness of corruption reporting, we propose deeper collaboration with the EACC in the following areas: training journalists on investigative and crime reporting. The EACC can play a key role in equipping journalists, especially crime and investigative reporters, with skills to track financial crimes, understand asset recovery mechanisms, interpret legal documents, and report accurately on corruption cases. Training on digital forensics, data journalism, and financial crime investigations will enhance media capacity to hold power to account. 2, strengthening investigative and fact-checking desks. To enhance media oversight, the Kenya Editors Guild is advocating for stronger investigative desks and dedicated fact-checking units in our newsrooms. We propose that a portion, as Churchill mentioned earlier, of the recovered assets be allocated to support investigative journalism, ensuring that corruption stories are well researched, backed by evidence, and impactful. 3, facilitating access to information and evidence. Investigative journalism thrives on access to credible and verifiable data. The EACC should establish formal information sharing channels with journalists, ensuring that corruption cases, asset recovery efforts, and financial misconduct investigations are backed by facts. Transparency and timely access to information will enhance media reporting and public confidence in anti-corruption efforts. Recovering stolen public assets is only part of the solution. Ensuring these resources are used for the public good is equally important. Kenyans need to see tangible benefits from the funds and properties recovered from corrupt individuals. We urge the EACC to ensure transparency in asset recovery and utilization. The public must be informed about what has been recovered, how much has been returned, and where these resources are being channeled. A publicly accessible database detailing recovered assets and their location would enhance accountability and trust. 2, advocate for recovered assets to be directed toward development. Instead of these funds disappearing into bureaucratic processes, they should be strategically allocated to critical areas such as healthcare, education, infrastructure, and investigative journalism to further the fight against corruption. Strengthen oversight to prevent recovered assets from being relooted. Without proper safeguards, there are risks that recovered funds may be misappropriated again. The EACC must work with oversight bodies, the media, and civil society to track and audit the use of recovered assets to prevent further corruption. One of the greatest risks facing journalists reporting on corruption is intimidation, threats, and in extreme cases, violence. Many whistleblowers and reporters who expose corruption are forced into hiding or face legal battles aimed at silencing them. We call on our EACC to work with relevant agencies to strengthen witness protection measures. This includes extending protection mechanism to journalists covering corruption cases, ensuring their safety while reporting on high-stakes investigations. Number 3, develop an early warning system for journalists under threat. A formalized system where the EACC, media organizations, and security agencies can monitor and respond to threats against journalists will go a long way in ensuring press freedom is upheld. While our focus today is on asset recovery and investigative journalism, we must also address broader systematic challenges that hinder the fight against corruption. One being delayed prosecutions and weak convictions. The slow pace of corruption cases in court erodes public confidence. Stronger enforcement and accountability measures are needed to ensure that those implicated in corruption face justice. Number 2, political interference. Corruption cases should not be influenced by political alignments. We urge the EACC to maintain independence and resist pressure that compromises its work. 3, public awareness and civic engagement. The fight against corruption is not just for journalists and law enforcement. It requires public participation. The EACC and the media must work together to educate Kenyans on their role in exposing graft and supporting recovery efforts. As we hold this discussion today, we recognize that no single institution can eliminate corruption alone. The fight against graft requires collaboration between journalists, the EACC, the judiciary, and the public. The Kenya Editors Guild remains committed to working with EACC to expose corruption, recover stolen public assets, and promote accountability in governance. We look forward to building a structured partnership where journalists are empowered, protected, and supported in reporting corruption cases without fear. Thank you all for being here today, and we look forward to a productive engagement and solutions, possible solutions to end corruption in our country. Asanteni sana for your time. Now allow me to invite my senior, the Editor-in-Chief, Nation Media Group, Joe Ageo, to give the inside take. Asanteni sana.